Alright, welcome to the first Crime Dog blog podcast slash YouTube video, whatever you want to call it. So I figured I'd give iMovie a shot, try to make my blog into a podcast type deal. It's just going to be the same as I normally do on a Thursday, just the pick and recap week 9 this time. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so first off, let's talk about Nick Foles and his 7 touchdowns against the Raiders. Certainly something the Steelers couldn't do 2 weeks ago, but it's pretty incredible to think that Nick Foles is now on the list with only 6 other people in NFL history to throw 7 touchdowns. I am surprised that Chip Kelly hasn't named him the starter yet, at least for the game next week against the Packers, considering before this week they'd only scored 10 points in 2 games, and then last week he throws for 7 touchdowns and he's not going to be your starter. He's a hot hand. You got to let him play at least next week and probably until their bye week. Alright, so now I'll talk about Richie Incognito and the whole Dolphins situation. He's just not a good dude. Like, he got thrown out of Nebraska, he went to Oregon, he got thrown out of there after 1 week, he got in a fight with his head coach on the Rams, and now he's screwing around with the Dolphins. Like, he's probably done in the NFL. I mean, you can blame Jonathan Martin for not sticking up for himself, but at the end of the day, Richie Incognito is just not a good guy. And I'm sure this is probably going to cost him his career, and frankly, it probably should. Up next, the red-hot Carolina Panthers, who are now only 1 game out of first place in the NFC South. Their defense has been incredible the past 4 games. They've not allowed a team to score more than 15 points. And offensively, Cam Newton has really turned things around since I called him out after the Cardinals game, converting for 10 total touchdowns and only turning the ball over twice. They have a tough game this weekend against the 49ers, but based on how they've been playing, they got a great chance to win. And now for my weekly talk about the New York Jets. I can't figure this team out. It's been a roller coaster. I mean, they get blown out by the Bengals, so you think the Saints coming into New York, yeah, maybe they might play well, but you don't expect them to win. What do? They win. I mean, their defensive line is incredible. Muhammad Wilkerson, Sheldon Richardson, Quentin Coples, they're fantastic. So with a defense like that, they definitely have a chance to make the playoffs. Their next 7 games aren't against the toughest competition. They do play the Panthers, but other than that, it's Dolphins, Raiders, Bills again. It's not too difficult, so the Jets really do have a legitimate shot of making it to the playoffs. And now the NFC North, more specifically Aaron Rodgers right now, who looks like he's going to be out at least 3 weeks. You don't really know the timetable yet with his broken collarbone, but the division is now wide open, at least to every team that's not named the Minnesota Vikings. But I think the Lions have the advantage right now. They're the only team with their starting quarterback actually healthy, and their next 4 weeks they get to play the Bears without Jay Cutler, the Steelers, the Bucks, and then the Packers, who might not have Aaron Rodgers. So they have a real chance of winning all of those games and taking control of this division. I'm not sure that'll happen because they are the Lions, but they have a chance to. And now my horrible Steelers. 55 points. 55. They couldn't stop anything that the Patriots did last Sunday. Brutal. I mean, they're bad. Like, I had hope when they were 2-4 going to Oakland, but now they're bad. They're just a bad football team. I mean, 2-6. I don't see this team winning 5 games. They might finish the last 8 games 2-6. They're looking at a top 5 pick at this rate. Well, at least the one good thing about the Steelers being bad is at least they probably won't have to listen to Jim and Phil announce any more Steeler games. The most biased announcers in the league. They love their boy TFB. I cannot stand it. And for the Thursday night football game, which features the Washington Redskins at the Minnesota Vikings, I'm going to pick the Vikings in this one. I think last Sunday against the Cowboys, the Vikings actually figured something out, which is just give the ball to Adrian Peterson. It's the first time since September he's gotten over 20 carries, and what happens? He runs for 140 yards, he scores a touchdown, and the Vikings almost beat the Cowboys. It's a pretty simple game plan, but it works. So I think if the Vikings stick with that and maybe force RG3 to make a few turnovers, or RG3 doesn't even start well, I think the Vikings have a great chance to get their 2nd win of the season. And that's about it. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It's pretty fun making it, actually. Not sure if I'll make it again, but we'll see.